Hi friends, hello and welcome to another episode of Heart to Heart with Attitude. On this podcast, I share with you engaging content as we journey to live your best lives, to inspire you and, to encourage you, motivate you as you journey in life. Yeah, and also to encourage me. I definitely love every opportunity I have to share with you guys. And yes, I'm excited again to be able to share with you on a topic that I feel affects quite a number of us. Yes, I think it does affect quite a number of us. So yeah, today we're going to be talking about drum rolls. Yes, we're talking about something that typically affects young people, old people, accomplished people, affects a lot of us, and that's imposter syndrome. Yes, imposter syndrome. Okay, so what's imposter syndrome? What causes it? How do you deal with it? Today I specifically want to just talk on this topic because over time, it's something that has affected me and people I know. And I think recently I was having some conversation with my friends about how sometimes we as women don't speak up because of we feel like we're not good enough for certain things, so we don't reach out to these things. So yeah, it just came to mind that I need to talk about this with you guys. So what would you say imposter syndrome is? Let me look through and try to define. I also had to go online to check how people define it. And I think there's a general acknowledgement to what imposter syndrome is. It's said to be, having a feeling that you do not deserve to be where you are. Feeling like a fraud, yeah? Or like you got to where you are through dumb luck. So, that feeling where you've gone through certain things in your life and you've been trying, overcoming certain circumstances, but then you get to a stage in life and you're like, are you sure I did all of that? Are you sure I can even do more? Are you sure it wasn't just it just happened? Those things were just like luck or chance. It wasn't because I could do those stuff. So maybe for instance you are working somewhere and you've worked for say 3 years and you're looking to interview to go to another company, and then you begin to doubt your capabilities. I don't know if I can do this. Are you sure I'm qualified for this job I'm applying to? Are you sure I can, maybe if it's a speaking job, maybe you've been a speaker, right? You've been speaking at events, having your coaching business and all, and then you've been invited to speak at this conference. Maybe it's a mega conference you've always wanted to speak at, and then you begin to have self-doubt. You begin to feel like, are you sure I can speak here? Are you sure these people know what they're doing, that they gave me this job? Are you sure I can deliver on this? And that's typically what imposter syndrome is. It's the experience of feeling like a phony, as though at any moment you'll be found out to be a fraud, as if you don't belong to where you are. So have you ever experienced this feeling before? Has there been times in your life that this has been like a major issue? So maybe you've been asked to lead a team at work and you're feeling really doubtful, are you sure this one know what they're doing? What did they see that they're asking me to lead this team? Maybe you volunteered or you showed interest in a particular role, and then you've been given and you're like, are these people sure they know what they're doing? Are they going to find out something? I really do not know this thing, even though you know it. This is typically what imposter syndrome is about. So I'm not going to take too long with this podcast, hopefully. But let's see, where did this start from? At least according to to what I saw online, the original imposter syndrome study in the 1970s revolved around high-achieving women who had trouble attributing their own success to themselves. Right? So there were women who were really achieving high success, and it seemed to be as if They just felt like, oh, they are just locked out. It was just pure luck or dumb luck. It wasn't like they worked their behind off to get these things done. But today, right, when you look at things around us, you'll see that imposter syndrome affects men, women, and everybody. However, it's said that people who experience imposter syndrome the most are hard workers, high achievers, and perfectionists. I remember seeing a meme recently that said that imposter syndrome is a sickness for how did the person put it? Something around it's a rich people or it's a high achiever problem. So if you're experiencing imposter syndrome, just know that you have made it. It was funny to read that, but it also just stuck with me that means you're doing something right, but doubts and anxiety are just trying to play a number on you. So smart up, don't let them achieve that. Right, so it's typically people who are high achievers who are feeling like they don't know if they deserve to be where they are, feeling like they're frauds, so yeah, if you're experiencing imposter syndrome, you're experiencing an high achiever problem. So it's not too bad, because you definitely get over it with these tips that I'm going to share with you. But before I share these tips with you, it's also important to know that sometimes, because of imposter syndrome, it can lead to self-sabotaging your own success or wealth or even relationships. It can lead to anxiety, stress, undue stress, depression. If you allow yourself to wallow in this, it could lead to, closing up on yourself. So you are actually being given this opportunity to speak at an event, and you let imposter syndrome overwhelm you so much you actually fall sick. Now, this is not like you're being sick because of an illness, of a physical illness, but it's a mental thing, because your mind has closed up and said, I'm a fraud, I don't know that I can do this, and you just let fear make you begin to shiver, and then they say it's cold or something, but really it's just imposter syndrome that is actually at play there. So don't let imposter syndrome self-sabotage your success or a relationship, because you've been in relationships where you've not had great luck at relationships. It's always been from one bad experience to another, and then you meet someone who treats you right, who loves you the way you really want to be loved, and you're also giving, and it's just a beautiful relationship. Then imposter syndrome comes up and you're like, this isn't going to last. This is not true, because you're so used to being in bad relationships that when something good comes your way, you do not believe that you deserve to be in one. So have you done this before? Self-sabotage, which is correct, your success, your relationship, your work. It's time to stop that, actually. So it could happen to high achievers. It could even happen to people who are like new parents, and they feel like, I don't think I'm good at this parenting thing. I don't know that I can take care of someone. I'm trying to take care of myself. How then can I take care of someone? Or several examples I've given you, or maybe you're at school and you've been asked to be your class governor, and you're feeling like a fraud because you're feeling like, are you sure these people saw something in me? Well, everybody voted you, though. But yeah, on a serious note now, I think you're getting the drift. So how then do you deal with this? If you've seen what it is, what can cause it, what it can lead to, how then do we deal with it? Because a lot of us deal with it, and I feel like even me that I'm telling you this today, it may still come. It definitely will still come, because I'm hoping to achieve high things in my life. Right. So first off, I think it's important that we recognize the feeling. When you begin to feel like a fraud, I really don't think I should be here. Do I even know what I'm doing? Do these people, will I get exposed soon? I remember when I was working, I think my first place of work, just after I graduated from the university, and I was working as a software developer there, and some days I'm going to work and I'm like, are these guys going to realize one day that I don't know what I'm doing? I'm literally working on projects with some senior developers, but I'm feeling like, are they just going to wake up one day and say, you have to go home, we don't feel like you're good enough or something? And self-doubt will work with me as I go to work. But over the years, even though I've had to work in situations where I'm probably the only female on my team, or maybe there are very few females in my team, I've then come to realize that I actually know what I'm doing, which will bring me to my next point. So the first one is acknowledge the feeling. Try to understand or define what you're feeling. If you're begin to feel like, I'm not sure I know what I'm doing, I'm not sure I should be here, ask yourself, is this doubt? Is this fear? What is this? And if you're able to define it and say, okay, am I feeling like a fraud? Okay, this could be imposter syndrome. All right. So take a look at just look back at your experiences. So for me, right, I recall having then worked in 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4 organizations right now, and I'm looking at the journey, and I'm saying sometimes when I feel like a fraud, I was even doing more than I realized. Because when you look back and then you see people who even didn't know as much as you did, but they had this sort of confidence, and they could speak their way through things, and they could blab their way around, and you're like, I'm doing more than this person, so why am I feeling insufficient or unworthy of where I am, of what I'm doing? So then one thing you can do is list out your past experiences, right? So make a list of at least 10 things that show you are qualified for this as anyone else. Do you get that? So maybe it may not even be major, but just look at, okay, in the past, maybe you have asked to lead a team and you're feeling unqualified. Just look at times when you had to take ownership, even in smaller things. Maybe when you were in university, you had a group of people who worked together on an assignment and you led the group, maybe when you were in a fellowship, you had to take some responsibility to teach or to guide people. Yeah, let these experiences come back to you and show you that if I could do it then, I can still do it now. Okay, so make a list. Then own your accomplishments. So sometimes we're quite humble. I don't know if it's humble or something, where we're trying to I don't think that's me. So I'll first say, before you even own your accomplishment, sometimes do some certifications. So if it's work related and you're feeling unworthy, it's good that you just do some exams, right? Sometimes when it comes back to you and imposter syndrome seems to be knocking on your door, just think back on those certifications you have. So this is not to brag, but just to help you sort of like reinforce that knowledge that I'm not a fraud, I'm not a scam, I actually know what I'm doing. So take some exams, right? It helps to also establish or reinforce that you actually know what you're doing. And when you take those exams, own your accomplishments. If you're a PhD holder, as a woman, don't be shy to say, I'm a doctor, okay? Some people actually are. This imposter syndrome affects people so much that people get their PhDs and they're feeling so unsure of whether to say, oh yeah, I'm a doctor. No, you are. Own it, right? If you have several MSCs, if you have certifications, don't be ashamed to say, oh, I'm an ICANN holder, or I have CBAP, or I have whatever certifications are applicable in your own field, right? So own it, right? Another thing you can also do is to remind yourself, when you realize the feeling, that these feelings are temporary. Sometimes it's okay that our emotions would be unsure, right? We will question our important decisions, but just acknowledge that this is a feeling that I will get over. Remember times when you've had it previously and you got over it, and then remind yourself that you will definitely get over it. And then also, externalize what you feel. So when it's time to, I read something, I saw it on Instagram. It's Chiniko. I follow Chiniko on Instagram and I really like her IG tips and all she shares. And she talked about the fact that you should separate the work you from the real you. So maybe I am Esther, for instance, and I'm going to work. So I address myself in third person. So maybe there's something that's happened at work. Okay, she's had a bad day, work wasn't as great. Even though she's had a bad day and her work wasn't as great, Esther is still a great person. Esther still has she's still good at what she does. But although work Esther had a bad day, Esther herself is still a great person, and she's definitely going to be who she wants to be and all of that. So externalize the feeling of, oh, this version of me is feeling this way. Okay, that's great. But the real me, this is how I feel, and this is how I want to feel. And sort of just externalize the feeling, and then it makes you objectified and see, okay, this is what it is. Okay, it's going to go away, and I'm going to be fine, right? So this may also help you in dealing with it. Okay, then visualize what success means to you. Sometimes when those feelings come, and then just remember, like, okay, remember what success has been to you and what success means to you. It could also like help you to get over it. Taking longer than I want to do, so let's just wrap up this. Definitely talk to someone about it. If you have someone who is close to you, or you're accountable to, or you're like accountability partners, or a friend that is really close and you can talk to, or a mentor, it's okay to talk to them about it, because it then gives you an external, just the way you were supposed to externalize what you feel, it gives you an external perspective on what you're going through. The person can actually tell you, okay, fine, this is what you're going through, maybe your doubts, and maybe and he or she tells you that, well, I think you're just beating yourself up. Or a person can tell you, okay, this may be valid, but why not do this? Why not do this? Why not do that? So yeah, definitely talk to someone about it. What else comes to mind? Okay, avoid comparisons. Yes. So sometimes this also comes because we're comparing our journeys with some other people's journey. So you're feeling like, this is my colleague, we finished university together. He or she has gone on to do like 3 masters or a master's and a PhD. He or she is working in one of these very big multinational company, or this person is married, I'm not married, or this has happened to this person. And then because of this, you begin to feel down, discouraged, doubt, right? Because of someone else's journey, you're feeling doubt about your own journey. And remember, not the person's journey are the same, right? So our journeys are different. We've been called to do different things with our lives. So when you see someone doing great stuff, be root for them, encourage them, share for them, because your own is definitely going to come, right? So comparison definitely can lead to can lead to imposter syndrome. And then I'll just say, whenever you experience it, just do it. So if it was a task you were assigned to do it regardless, right? So don't let perfectionism stop you. Just do it, right? I always say that it's better to have it half done, or it's better to have it like 90% ready, 80% ready than waiting forever to get it to 100% ready, and that forever may not come. Do you understand? Just do it regardless. So have you gone through imposter syndrome before? How did you deal with it? The questions you have, send me an email, omikunle@gmail.com. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, stitude_, or just reply. If you're listening via Anchor Podcast, reply with a voice recording, or if you're listening via any other podcast, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, just like drop me a mail or a DM on social media. I'd really like to hear from you how you've dealt with imposter syndrome. If you're dealing with symptoms of imposter syndrome, you're going to get over it, because you're definitely not going to get over it after listening to this. Definitely share this with your friends who should also listen to this. And yeah, let me know what else you'd like me to talk to you about. I definitely love to talk to you guys and share with you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Till I come your way again, I remain your friend, love and light, Stitude. Take care. Bye.